Good morning, students. So today we will start with chapter 6 part 2. Okay, now as you can see in this screen, separation of liquids from solids. Okay, you will learn how to separate liquids from solids. In a liquid containing insoluble solid particles like mud in water, chalk in water, the liquids can be separated from solids by simple methods like filtration, sedimentation and decantation. Okay, water can be separated from a muddy water by simple filtration. So here you can learn two words, sedimentation and decantation. So first of all, what is the meaning of sedimentation? The process in which solid impurities are allowed to settle down under the influence of gravity is known as sedimentation. Now, next is decantation. What is decantation? The process of removing filtrate above the settled down particles, above the settled down solid particles without disturbing the impurities. So these are the two processes, okay, and these are the simple methods of filtration. Now, water from mud can also be separated by sedimentation and decantation. I repeat, water from mud can also be separated by sedimentation and decantation. The mixture is allowed to stand for some time. Solid mud particles are settled down and the clear water above it can be removed by the process of decantation as shown in the figure. You can see this figure clearly, sedimentation and decantation. Okay, now let us move to next page. In the liquid containing soluble solids like salt dissolved in water or sugar dissolved in water, the liquid can be separated by a process called distillation. So just read this sentence carefully, then you will understand. In the liquid containing soluble solids like salt dissolved in water or sugar dissolved in water, the liquid can be separated by a process called distillation. With the help of distillation, we can separate the solids from water. Okay, the solution is heated in a flask. Okay, the water converted into vapor, into water vapors, leaving behind salt in the dish. So what will happen when you heat the solution in the flask? The water will convert into water vapors, leaving behind salt in the dish. The water vapors are condensed into another beaker with the help of long tube connected with the first flask. Okay, now come to properties of gases. Gases neither have fixed shape nor have fixed volume. As you have learned in solids and liquids, solid has a fixed shape as well as fixed volume. Okay, liquid has a fixed volume but not a fixed shape. But in the case of gases, gases neither have fixed shape nor have fixed volume. Gases have mass and they occupy space. They have mass, they occupy space. Their particles are far apart from each other. But their particles are far apart from each other and very loosely bounded to each other. And also these are very loosely bounded to each other. It is because of this reason they can easily flow. And because of this reason only they can easily flow. Most of the gases are not visible and can only be felt. As it is given, most of the gases are not visible and can only be felt. Gases occupy the shape and also volume of the container in which they are kept. Suppose that if you keep gas in any container, it will take the shape as well as volume of the container. Gases fill up the space of container. Okay, but gases also fill up the space of container. Now see this activity. Make group of 4 students every student has to stand on 4 corners of a room. A student standing at one corner spray perfume. The other 3 students note down the time in which they feel the smell of perfume. After student sprayed it, you will find that smell will reach to all the corners in few moments. This shows that gases take space of the container. It is clearly given in this activity that gases take space of the container. Gases also dissolve in liquids. For example, oxygen and carbon dioxide get dissolved in water. Okay, these dissolved gases are used by aquatic plants and animals. So again I repeat these sentences. Gases also dissolve in liquids. For example, oxygen and carbon dioxide get dissolved in water. These dissolved gases are used by aquatic plants and animals. You can see in this figure, aquatic plants and animals use the gases dissolved in water. Composition of gases in air. Air is a mixture of gases. Okay, it cannot be seen but can be felt. You cannot see the air but you can feel it. Air occupies every corner of the earth. Okay, air occupies every corner of the earth. The major gases present in air are nitrogen 78%, oxygen 21%, carbon dioxide 0.03%, argon 0.9%, and various other gases present in trace amounts. Okay, so this is the composition of gases in air. You can see this in a pie chart. Nitrogen 78% given, oxygen 21% given, other gases 1%. Okay, now movement of air. The heat of the sun affects the movement of the air. So it affects means how the movement of the air is affected by the heat of the sun. Okay, the sun heats up the air, making it lighter. Whenever sun heats up the air, air becomes lighter. The hot and lighter air rises up and the cool air takes its place. This movement of air results in wind. So in this way wind is formed. Okay, now come to next page. Winds are caused due to difference in air pressure. The region from where the air rises, an area of low pressure is created. So winds are caused due to the difference in air pressure. Okay, if there is a difference in air pressure, winds are caused. The region from where the air rises, an area of low pressure is created. The region where air sinks, an area of high pressure is created. Okay, since the atmosphere constantly maintains a balance, air moves in from an area of high pressure to an area of low pressure. It sets convection currents in the atmosphere. The cyclic movement of air also causes land breeze and sea breeze. Okay, the gentle movement of air causes breeze. When air moves at fast speed, it becomes storm. When air moves at fast speed, very fast speed, it becomes storm. We like to walk in cool breeze in the morning. A storm can become dangerous and may uproot trees and buildings. If a storm is very dangerous, it may uproot trees and buildings also. Now let us see sea breeze. The sun warms both the land and the water. Okay, but the land warms up faster than water. But it is sure that the land will become warm up faster than the water. In the day, air above the sea is cooler. In the day, what happens? Air above the sea is cooler as compared to the air above land. Okay, hot air above the land rises and cool air above the sea blows towards the land to take its place. Now what happens? Hot air above the land rises up and cool air above the sea blows towards the land to take its place. Okay, the movement of comparatively cold air from sea towards land during day time is called sea breeze. So this is known as sea breeze. The movement of comparatively cold air from sea towards land during day time is called sea breeze. Okay. Now land breeze. At night the land cools down faster and the water in sea remains warm as compared to land. I repeat it again. At night the land cools down faster and the water in the sea remains warm as compared to land. Hot air above the sea rises and cool air above the land rushes to take its place. Okay. So in land breeze the opposite thing happens. Hot air above the sea rises and cool air above the land rushes to take its place. The movement of comparatively cold air above land towards sea during night time is called land breeze. So again I repeat this. The movement of comparatively cold air above land towards sea during night time is called land breeze. Ventilators in the rooms also work on the same principle. Ventilators are provided above the windows near ceilings. Warm air or exhaled air being lighter rises up and leaves the room through ventilators. Okay. Fresh air from doors and windows enters the room to take its place. Now what happens? Fresh air from doors and windows enters the room to take its place. The convection currents so set in the air help in keeping the room fresh. Okay. Now let us move to next page. Ocean currents and many home appliances such as air conditioners, fridges, room heaters, coolers also works on the basis of difference in the air pressure. Monsoon breeze. Due to unequal heating on land in Indian subcontinent and the surrounding ocean water, some wind enters into Indian subcontinent. Okay, these are called monsoon breezes. These are like giant sea breezes that bring a large amount of moisture with them and cause rain in Indian subcontinent. So this is known as monsoon breeze. Okay. Okay students, now you have to learn these terms, and in next class I will give you question answers as well as book work. These are the chapter extract. You have to read all these things and you have to learn these terms in use. Okay, and in next class I will give you question answer. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.